When the only constant in life is change, you need to be ready. This is the Man-Made Survival Show.
Hello everyone, my name is Jose Prado with Man-Made Survival. Thanks so much for coming back to the channel and watching this video. I hope you share this information with your friends and family because, as always, this information is really, really important. And please leave us a like, please subscribe to the channel and leave us a comment. I try to answer everyone as quickly as I can. And, you know, with as best of the knowledge that I got and with my point of view, 100% honest. All right, so I hope you had a great 4th of July. I hope you enjoy your friends and family. I hope you had a cookout and everything was great. If you've shot fireworks, I hope you did it safely and hopefully nobody went to the hospital. All right, so anyways, with that being said, on Friday, or really on Sunday, I posted a video, right, on that talked about Black Lives Matter and how they were talking about making a, I guess you can say, a military arm out of the movement. All right, they were going to focus on obtaining firearms, that they were going to train with those firearms, that they would open carry and protect their communities. Okay, so all that is fine, or at least the first 3 is fine, that they would acquire the guns, they would train with them, and they would open carry. All of those are protected under the Second Amendment. Now, the 4th one, I don't know if it's legal for them to be able to protect their own, you know, their own neighborhood, for them to patrol it. I would highly doubt that that's something that it's legal. But the point of that is that if there is peace officers, right, as they would call them, going around the streets and then they encounter the police, would there be a firefight? All right, and I pointed out that could potentially break out into a civil war. That was pretty much the message of it. Okay, so what I want to point out is that it doesn't matter what color you are, or what race, what ethnicity, whatever, however you want to, you know, whatever you want to call it. If you're black, if you're white, if you're Hispanic, if you're Asian, you know, whatever. If you live in the United States and you live within one of those communities, you're going to be affected. All right? That's why it's important for you to get this information, because the reason that I give this information is so you can prepare for those things that's going on, for the things that are going on in the country. And if you prepare for those things and you see them coming, you can get out of the way, or you can be prepared for when it comes to your direction. All right, so that's what I want to point out right off the bat. Okay, now one thing that I also want to say is that over the weekend, right, over the 4th of July, on 4th of July, there was an incident that happened in Georgia, and what we're going to be talking about today. But it's also going to be something very touchy, something that is, you know, it's difficult to explain, or it's difficult to talk about, because this subject is very controversial, and of course, you know, people can take things wrong and it can become, you know, just a headache. So I want to establish, before I go into these details, okay, that I am neutral on this. All right, I'm not here to go for or against what I'm going to report today. I want you to get the information so you can prepare. All right, doesn't matter if you're white, doesn't matter if you're black, doesn't matter if you're Mexican, Hispanic, whatever, Asian, Jew, whatever ethnicity, race, country you want to say. If you live within the United States, this information is important for you to get, for you to share, because you can prepare and you won't be caught off guard. All right, so that's my disclaimer for this video. I am not for nor against it. This is simple information and facts that are coming out, that are being reported, okay, and I'm going to be sharing with you today. So on Saturday, Saturday, on Saturday, the 4th of July, there was a group of, it was a black militia that went to Georgia, all right, and they demonstrated themselves. They did illegal things, all right. They went to the monument, to the Confederate monument over there in Georgia, all right. They open carried their firearms, the Second Amendment. They protested First Amendment, all right. They did everything legal that day, everything, all right. But their message is something that you should be concerned about. Here's the first headline that I have for you. We're in your house. Let's go. Black armed protesters challenge white militia at Confederate monument. This from Sear Hedge. All right, I'm just gonna give you the headline, then I'm gonna read it real quick. But all right, I want you to understand just the headline. All right, a black militia came out and called out a white militia. The problem here is just a pure racial one, right? Because you're white or because you're black. Okay? If those two groups of people start fighting just because of the skin of their color, that is going to spill over to innocent citizens who either don't care about what they do, what they're talking about, right? And just because of the color of the skin, whether they're white or black, and even Mexicans and any other color. Okay? All right, here's what the article says. The group known as Not Effing Around Coalition, which would be the NFAC, marched through Stone Mountain Park near Atlanta on Independence Day, calling out white militias, along with protesting one of the largest Confederate monuments in the country, reported Reuters. Hundreds of heavily armed NFAC members, predominantly African American, were seen dressed in black combat gear with military-style rifles, quietly march up a road in the park in two columns. All right, I have a video for that. Here it is.
Threat, counter threat, because threats don't mean shit to us. Y'all been threatening us since Birmingham. I ain't seen shit. What is July the 4th? And all you scary ass Negroes that pass that shit around, look at what the fuck you did. You made blacks come out. I don't see no white militia. So to the boogie boys, the 3%ers, and all the rest of you scared ass rednecks, we here. Where the fuck you at? We in your house. Let's go. NFAC, motherfucker.
All right, so the first video, the message is clear. They calling out the white militias. All right, they're saying, we're in your home. Let's go. All right, they're not taking no BS anymore. Everything you just heard. All right, so the next video that I have for you, which is the continuation of this article, also shows this. Listen not to effing around coalition. Leader Grandmaster Jay describing his group's overall mission. Here's that video.
What is the solution to all of this? And that's the last
The solution is very simple. We file a Declaration of Liberation, declaring every African-American descendant of slavery a political prisoner here in the United States that was affected by the Portuguese slave trade. And then, after that, the United States has a choice. Either A, carve us a piece of land out here, we'll take Texas, and let us do our own thing, or don't stop us when we exodus up out of here and go somewhere where they will give us our own land to build our own nation.
What is your name and what is the...
I'm the official Grandmaster Jay. I created the NFAC.
All right, and how long have the organization been in existence?
We don't give that information out. Just how we'll tell you this, we're all ex-military, we're all very disciplined, we're all expert shooters. We don't want to talk no more, we don't want to negotiate, we don't want to sing songs, we don't bring signs to a gunfight. We're an eye for an eye organization. So when they decide to act right, we'll decide to act right, and we do it all legally, just like they do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Uhuru.
All right, so his message is very clear, right? There's no reading into it. There's no, trying to wonder what he meant. I mean, it's pretty out there. It's pretty clear. What he's saying is that first, the government has to acknowledge that they were political prisoners. All right, and then they want to have some land. They want to have Texas. They'll take Texas. That's what he said. Or if somebody gives some piece of land, I mean, I don't know who he means by that. That pretty much they will go out there and they will create their own nation. All right. Now, of course, the government is never going to give up Texas, right? Especially the people of Texas. They're never going to give it up. So the next thing would be that they would find someone that would give them land. Now, who? We have no idea. Right? Which nation would be willing to give them land so they can create their own country? No idea. But the point is that they're calling the militias out, right? And they're saying that they're in their home, that they pretty much were threatening and they're not doing anything. Now they're showing up, and what are they gonna do about it, right? Which the next video that I'm gonna show you is a personal video of the leader, all right? And this is what he had to say. Here it is.
Okay, let me give y'all a common sense question. This is for everybody who got a little bit of sense. I don't need everybody. A lot of y'all just fall back. It's gonna be cool. Let let me see if I can do it like this, because y'all ain't gonna get it unless I, okay, so you got, I'm gonna be generous. You got 1,000 brothers and sisters out there like this. 1,000, not 5, not 10, not 25, 1,000 brothers and sisters at a minimum out there who've had it up to here, knowing that you motherfuckers already said you was gonna try to kill somebody, right? So we out there. Like we just came out that motherfucker, right? Okay. Would you attack us? You know what? So since we're in the business of making threats, since the white race appears to have spoken, I think that this is one of the purposes that I would have to serve to put y'all on notice. That please understand that should you attack any group, African American, for the sole purpose of them being black, expect an equally as devastating retaliation against your community too. It won't start none, it won't be none. But whatever you do to us, we're gonna do to you. Now take that for what it's worth, since y'all want to pass threats around. And stop trying to scare us out of exercising our constitutional rights. What makes you think we're gonna stand there and let somebody come and aggress a formation?
All right, so again, I wanna stress, I am neutral in this, all right? I'm not making that guy a villain, nor am I making him a hero, all right? This information is important for you to understand that things are boiling, all right? The tensions are boiling in this country, and they are race related, all right? So what he said is nothing wrong. I mean, he didn't say nothing wrong about if you attack the black community, all right? Well, he's talking to white people. If you attack the black community for the sole purpose because they're black, all right, then they're gonna do exactly the same thing. They're gonna attack white people just because they're white. All right, so I want to make it clear that if you're in a white militia and you attack black people just because they're black, then you should have the full force of the government come against you because you're breaking the law. All right, you have a color of skin is not justification for any of that. All right, same thing to the black militia. If you attack white people for the sole purpose because they're white, you're gonna have to, or the law is gonna come against you as well. Okay. Now, stepping back away from that and saying this, you as a prepper, you as a regular citizen, all right, this is where the prepping is going to come in. So let's pay attention to that, okay? You have to make sure that you carry your gun with you, because if somebody's shooting at you just because you're a certain race, you should be able to retaliate and shoot back, because now you're protecting your life, you're protecting your family, all right? And if you're in your property, you're protecting your own property too, okay? And so what's important for you to understand when you're out and about is that you must understand where the exits are whenever you go somewhere, okay? Where you're gonna take cover, and you must have training in how to take care of a gunshot wound, because if you don't know how to treat a gunshot wound, then you're gonna have a dead family member in your hands. Okay, also this is where alliances come into place and communications come into place, because if you can understand, you can hear what's going on outside of your area, you will know where the wave of fighting is coming from. And if you're in the path of the devastation, then you can leave, all right? That's why it's important for you to have communications, because you can talk to other preppers, talk to other people, talk to a network, all right? And the information will be passed around, and you can make the best decision. Your alliances have to be trained, and they have to be present when something like that is going down, and you have to be in your bug allocation, okay? Because there were 1,000 black militia on the 4th, all right? 1,000. If you have 1,000 people rushing your area, you're gonna have to be able to defend yourself, all right? You're gonna have to have enough ammo, you're gonna have to have enough weapons and enough manpower, because 1,000 people can run over an area very, very quickly, all right? So you must have your escape plan as well, okay? Your bug allocation should either be you have another location to go after that, or that should be your last stand. Okay, and I guess when you will know the right answer to that if you're ever in that situation, because you also cannot outrun 1,000 people. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind when something like this happens. Okay, the first Civil War was very devastating, especially for the people who be neutral, because it's a historical fact that both sides, when they were met in the battlefield, right, and the fighting was spread and they would either, go anywhere, the peoples who were in the way, or the people who were in the way, those people would get ransacked, they will get the supplies stolen from them, and at times women will be raped. Right? So that's something you have to keep in mind with this as well. Now, with that, we have the technology that we have. Things could actually last a lot longer, or they could be a lot quicker, because our communications are a lot better. Our weapons are a lot better. Right? Compared to the first Civil War, the bullets and the guns that we have now, blow those out of the water. Now, the tactical maneuvers that we understand nowadays, especially both sides are militarily trained, that's going to be a fierce fight, and that can make it even worse. Okay, that's why you have to get out of the way and watch your back. So, kind of to recap all of this, have your gun with you, make sure you're trained, okay, because you're going to have to be able to return fire. Carry your weapon legally. If you have to get a concealed carry permit and do it, I would advise, because if they don't know you have a gun, or if they know you do have a gun, you're gonna become target number one very quickly. Okay, and make sure your team, your alliances, they are trained very well, they're trained as well. All right, and they're trained very good. Your communications are up to date. All right, and that everyone knows how to treat a gunshot wound, so you don't have many casualties in your group, especially if you're out and about. All right, so stay safe. Keep an eye on what's going on, okay? Because if both sides break out just because of the color of each other's skin, then pretty much you will never know where the shooting is gonna come from. All right, especially as both races, they mingle every single day all through the United States. All right, this was in Georgia, and they did it in Phoenix too. Do they have other places? I don't know. But the point is that the white militia was called out. What are they going to do about it? Okay. And one of the things that I talked about in the first days on the podcast is that if there's a civil war, right, that involves citizen against citizen, the third thing that you have to consider is that the government is kind of have to interfere. They're not going to go at each other, and the government's going to sit idly by. The government's going to have to step in, send in the military, okay? Now, the question that you have to answer, the question you have to ask yourself is going to be, will the government support one group or the other? Or is the government legitimately wants to separate both groups and stop them from fighting? Because either way, the narrative will be driven, to whatever agenda is, and that can create even more resentment against the other group, which could make other people join in and make it even bigger. All right, that's what I mean by that. Let's say that the military came in and they sided with the white militia. Okay, the black militia and black people, or people of color, all right, as we've heard in the past few weeks, is that the government is look at that. The government is coming against the people. They want to enslave us again, whatever you want to put in there. And then that's going to create more anger in the black community. That's going to bring more people to the fight. And that fight can grow even worse. Now let's flip it. Let's say that the government goes with the black militia and they fight against the white militia. Then on this side, they're going to say, see, the tyrannical government is going with the protesters and the anarchists or whatever, and they're just, they're going to take us to the FEMA camps or whatnot, right? That's something you hear on the right all the time, right? And that, of course, that could create even more anger on this side and will bring more people to the fight, all right? Of course, there's population-wise, there's more white people than other ethnicities. So that fight could get even bigger and things can get even more deadly. And all that could just collapse the United States government. Now, the third option is that, let's say they legitimately try to put this down, okay, that they're not for either side. If you break the law, then, you know, you go to prison or you die, you know, whatever, because you're in the battlefield. If they're not successful on being able to put it down, whichever group wins, they're going to take control of the government. If the government is successful to bringing it down, is the possibility that everything would, you know, the fighting would stop and everybody will go back to their corner, and then tensions might go down, and then, you know, wait for it to boil back up and everything repeats itself again. Because that's pretty much what happened in the first Civil War, right? The fighting did stop. Everybody went home. That was that until, you know, 2020. Will there be a Civil War this year? We don't know. But you must be prepared for it. Again, I'm neutral on this issue because either way you go, people can take it wrong. And, you know, you can just create a headache for yourself. And since I'm not in the business of either or, I'm here to give you the information that you need and help you survive. Doesn't matter what race or ethnicity you are. This information is for your benefit in order for you to be able to survive whatever comes your way. For any disaster, whether man-made or natural. All right. So again, I want to remind you, my name is Jose Prado. I have a store. It's manmansurvivalstore.com. And I also have a book. It's Preppers Secrete Cache. You can go to www.preppersecretcache.com. And I actually talk about what's going on today. I talk about it in this book. I give you things to prepare for. And Civil War is one of those, you know. And that's exactly on page 10. And it says, here's the list of things that you should be ready for. Anarchy, we've seen that. Artificial intelligence, we're seeing that too. Asteroids, chemical war, earthquakes, food shortages, we're seeing that too. Government martial law, that is exactly what would happen if there was a fighting between those two groups, between the two militias. Martial law would be established right away. Okay. Hurricanes, nuclear war, which, you know, something that we could probably potentially see with China and Russia. And here's the next one, civil war or civil unrest. It's something that I also talk about. Tsunamis, tornado, and water shortages, amongst other things. All right. So I encourage you to get the book, Preppers Secrete Cache. Go to www.preppersecretcache.com or just click the link below. The book is absolutely free. All we need your help is with shipping. All right. And again, manmansurvivalstore.com. You can get all the items you need for survival. And it's going to help you with any scenario that you think or that you're preparing for. So anyways, again, my name is Jose Prado. And remember, always ready.
The Man-Made Survival Show.